dear friends on YouTube. I'm welcoming you today to a little video tutorial of how to make something called healing herb ointment. This is a complicated recipe to make, but it's a wonderful, wonderful ointment to have in your home. This ointment is good for damaged skin. Now, if you need stitches, this is not for you. If you have an open wound that is bleeding, this is not for you. If you have a wound that you're worried might get infected, don't put this on it. But if you've injured your skin by burning it, sunburn, diaper rash. I've even had people say this works great for eczema. My husband puts it on his hives when he has an allergic reaction to pecans. It's good for poison ivy and insect bites of all kinds and just minor skin abrasions. My favorite thing to use this for, my two favorite things, is when I get a mosquito bite and I come back in the house, I'm like, oh, I got a mosquito bite. I'm going to itch it for the next week. It's going to become an open wound and then a sore and then a scar. I put a little of this on it. It takes about 15 minutes for the itch to go away. So you do have to exercise some self-control and don't scratch. But then the itch goes away and it doesn't itch anymore. And so you don't scratch it. It's just really wonderful. The other thing, what is the other thing? See, this is what I mean about, oh yes, the other thing I use it for is the rare occasion, the very rare occasion when I go out and weed in my herb beds or something. If I do a little bit of very light gardening, and I come back in and my forearms are always itchy. You know what I mean? They just itch, and I put a little bit of this on it, and it just goes away. It goes away instantly. So. This is all that to say. This is a great product. It's right up there with my bee balm. I sell it in this little tub. This is a 4-ounce, half-cup tub. This is a tub that's designed for skincare products. And here is, can you see that? There's the lid. This is my last tub of this. I sold 3 or 4 of these at the market today, and anyway, they've just been selling. And the thing is that the stuff I put in here is only available during the spring and fall, mostly summer too. During the winter, the plants that I put in here are not available in the yard because it's wintertime. So this is my last chance to make some. It's October. So let me show you what I start with. This is really, without this, it wouldn't work. Here's my little tray of plants. The most important one is plantain. That is plantain. This is a weed. Not banana plantain. This is a weed that grows in your yard if you don't spray your yard. If you have nice little weeds everywhere. If you have dandelion, you probably have this. If you have calendula, you probably have this. And it grows in a circle. Sometimes they get quite large. And usually it has these little spears of seed heads that come up. And when you were a child, you might have played with them. This is the broadleaf variety. This is the narrow leaf variety. Okay, it's important to identify your plants correctly. Plantain is known because the veins and the leaves go all the way from the tip all the way down to the base. And when you pick them, you end up with these little hairs. But after you've identified these for a while, you can spot them pretty easily. I have both kind in my yard. I think the broadleaf is, I think this is the major, plantain major. The other one you want is yarrow. This is wild yarrow. It is spreading through my front yard at an amazing rate. Make sure that you identify it correctly too. Yeah, mine just grows on its own. It's not a plant that I put in, although you can plant yarrow. And then you want dandelion, as much as you can get. But the thing that's most important is the plantain. The others are helpful, but without the plantain, this really is not going to work as a great So as I said, I'm down to my last jar. So today, my daughter and my grandbaby, Isaac, who are visiting us for a little bit, I'm so excited to have them here. It's just a delight. And we went for a walk outside because it's a beautiful day. And I went hunting for plantain because I can't pick it in the house lot because that's where the dogs go to the bathroom. And I really want plantain that isn't in that area. So I went into the pasture and went looking. And I did find this tray full of those 3. I was so happy to find some plantain. And so I'm filling up, I go through each piece and I wipe it off with a little damp paper towel. And then I break the leaves up. You don't want to like wash them in soap or anything like that. You don't want to strip any oils off of them or damage them at all. You really want to keep them intact. You're just trying to get dirt off, dried grass off, bugs off. I found an inchworm. So then I'm going to pack these two. These are pint jars, not quart jars. I've used quart jars before. I just don't have enough plantain this time, but I'm going to work that. I'm going to fill these two pint jars with these, and then after I get this needs to be a little bit more full, and then I'm going to put probably about 3/4 of a cup of olive oil and 3/4 of a cup of coconut oil in there, and then I'm going to put that in a hot water bath in water inside of a double boiler. Okay, so there's water in the bottom of the double boiler and inside the double boiler. And I'm going to let that slowly heat up. I'm sitting here ripping up my herbs. I guess you'd call these herbs. They're really weeds. All of them are weeds. This is, I'm not trying to sound all hocus pocus on you, but this is the kind of medicinal stuff from nature that people used to know about more, and we've kind of lost it a bit. Like I said, I don't advocate this for everything. There's plenty of stuff you need to go to urgent care for. But if you have some scrapes, the thing that's most shocking to me is how well this works for burns. Because the first time I ever made this, I took it on a trip. I was going to West Virginia and Virginia and some different places. I was staying in this little place. I was cooking in the kitchen. I was heating up the oven. So it was a strange oven to me. I reached my hand in, and as you do when you reach your hand in, I touched my skin to the heating element and burned myself right here on my thumb. And the second thought after ouch was, I have that stuff upstairs. So I really rushed upstairs, and within like 1 minute, I had this healing herb ointment. That's what it looks like. It's pretty green. Okay, that's pretty green. That's because of the herbs. I put a big glob of it right on my hand, and then I took a big bandage or Band-Aid or something, and I covered it. And so it was on there right away, and I was shocked myself that burn never blistered, never hurt. It turned, it was an oval, a good size oval. It turned brown, and then it went away. But the skin never raised, it never blistered in any way. It didn't even, the skin never separated, the skin layers never separated, it never hurt, and there was no scar. And I was really shocked that it worked that well. And that's what sold me on it. And so then I started making it and selling at the farmer's market, and people started trying it. I'm a really good salesman for something I believe in. Most of us are. And because I had tried this myself, I try all my products myself before I try to sell them to somebody else. Anyway, and once people try it and take it home, I keep 2 tubs of it open in my house, one in my bedroom and one in the bathroom. I even like put it on my legs after I shave, things like that. Just any time that your skin might be a little bit or a lot unhappy. But and of course, since it does well on burns, it also does really well on sunburns. So, all right, so I've been ripping them up as I've been talking. So here's my 2 jars. I'm going to fill them. I think probably, because this is, these are pint jars, which is 2 cups. I don't want to fill them all the way full, obviously, of the oil. So I think probably 3/4 of a cup each of olive and coconut. And then the other oils that I put in here in varying amounts, much smaller amounts, are almond oil, grapeseed oil, shea butter, beeswax. Enough beeswax to keep it solid, but no more. It's not it's an ingredient that's only in there to keep it solid and as a preservative, and that's it, because you want the plantain to be as dominant an ingredient as possible. And then for essential oils, lavender, tea tree, cedarwood, and lemongrass are all good for the skin. All right, especially that tea tree. So I'm going to make some of this, and I'm going to give you little video clips along the way as I make this, but I wanted to talk about it first and show you what it looked like. Thanks for joining me for Healing Herb Ointment. Hey everybody, it's time to start our Healing Herb Ointment. And so I'm going to be adding my oils into my jars of greenery. You may be wondering what you are balancing on today as you're watching me do this. What terrible tripod of terror do I have you on today? Well, I'll just pick you up and let you see. You are standing on a container of oatmeal. And that's kind of precarious on this little tripod, so to the healing herb ointment segment. All right, let me show you what happened after I left my pint jars sitting overnight. Now, I ended up putting these in that double boiler one at a time. Both of them were not going to fit at the same time. You can see how this looks like murky green. You really want the oil to turn as green as possible. I've just left these sitting at room temperature overnight. If I had put them somewhere warm, like my front porch, which is enclosed in the summertime, that would be even better. But this will work fine. And now I'm going to strain and really press through a sieve the greenery out of here, because you just want to squeeze all of the goodness that you can out of that greenery before you toss it out, because then it's too late. And then the oils that are left over, that's the base that I start with for making the ointment. So That's the stomping I heard. Oh, he sees the camera. Are you dancing? Are you dancing with Poppy? Welcome to the wrap-up of the Healing Herb Ointment video. I've got my tray, which you saw me prepared a minute ago, of Healing Herb Ointment. And this is still liquid because it's still a little warm, but it will solidify as it cools. The beeswax and even the coconut oil to some extent will solidify. The beeswax serves two purposes. It's a natural preservative, which keeps this oil really good. It keeps the oils in it from going rancid. It keeps the ointment fresh like that. It's important not to have water in it. Water is the thing in a product that will make bacteria grow. So don't let any moisture get into it and you're fine. I did the big tubs. I sell those for $6 each at the farmer's market. The little teeny containers, which are kind of purse size, some people really like to have one of those. So I try to keep a few of those, and those are $1.50 each. Honestly, I price those kind of high to discourage people from buying because I want them to buy the bigger tub, because I think they're going to need it, and it's finicky to make those little ones. I do them, but I don't, that's not really my thing. It's fiddly little stuff you keep in your purse. That's just not my thing. So we've got by accident this last time I ordered a big bag of these white tubs. I really like the clear ones better. They're kind of a little bit translucent. And then I get matching black caps, and then I put the label on the top as you saw, and you're good to go. The containers and lids are kind of expensive. The labels, the stickers, are pretty expensive. So I don't make a whole lot on these. I do it because I enjoy it, and at the point that I don't enjoy it anymore, I'll either stop making it, which is more likely, or I'll just up the price a whole lot, to where it's actually worth my time to me to do it instead of just doing it for fun. But I've had a lot of people tell me how useful this product is. Even a friend who's a veterinarian, another friend who's a PA, they come back and buy repeat containers of this. Anyway, so that's the Healing Herb Ointment. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a very finicky recipe. When you make it, before you put the essential oils in it, it's very grassy smelling. The reason I put those essential oils in there is not just because that stuff is good for your skin, but it's to mask the smell of what my family calls green goo. I used to call it salve plantain, kind of French. And then I changed it to Healing Herb Ointment because I really wanted to focus. It's not just plantain, it's 3 herbs. And I'm going to put the recipe in the description and a link to the company where I order these tubs and lids, which is Elements Bath and Body. I order a lot of my stuff from them. I don't know that they're the best company. They're just the one that I found, and they've been consistent and reliable to ship me the things that I need. I also get some essential oils from them. Adam orders my grapeseed oil and the almond oil online at Amazon somewhere. And I got that shea butter also from Elements Bath and Body. The little teeny containers, these ones, I got those on Amazon too. They were inexpensive because the ones from Elements Bath and Body were like $2 each. That just priced it out of its range. All right, so there's another fun recipe. If you like good skin products that you make yourself and you don't want lots of chemicals in there that really dry out your skin, this is a recipe for you. Thanks a bunch. Bye. Hi, Isaac. Maybe some of it. Do we have any sausage, pepperoni, anything of that stripe?
I've got the chicken thighs to make a sausage, but then I never make one.
I would take pineapple.
How about
onion.
Green
I did buy some onion. I didn't buy any little green onion. But just, I would divide up the pizza. Are you making little pizzas? Okay, yeah, I would like mine to. I mean, the pork is okay. I like the pork better. I watched a video made by a British woman, but it was about Sweden and some of the habits they have there for coping with the long, dark months of winter. And one of them was to have a cup of coffee and a bite of cake. Not a slab of cake like we do in the US, but just a piece of cake. All those little pieces of self-care that are really useful for dark days. And during this pandemic, you know, for worldwide, these are dark days. So take care of yourself. Take a deep breath. Go outside. Even if all you got is a little balcony, go outside, breathe some fresh air, and remind yourself that the world is still there, life is still there, and someday we'll get back to normal. And we'll continue making healing herb ointment. Thanks for stopping by.